A big thanks to my sponsors, Ibis Cycles, Camelback, PNW Components, Kitspo Cycling Apparel, Cali Protectives, Shimano, Fox, WTB, and Jensen USA. Any purchases at Jensen USA from the below links will directly help support my channel as well. We did it! We got the Mojo Ti on the trail! As cool as this bike is, it is super terrifying to ride. As I'm riding, one of the most visually apparent and terrifying aspects of this bike are the shish kebab sticks at the end of the handlebars. You might be wondering, why do I have the shish kebab skewers of a handlebar set up this way? There's no way I'll be able to ride this bike with the super wide new school handlebars. I need to go narrower on the bars because the stem is so long. By sliding my lock-on grips in a little bit, I'm able to simulate a narrower handlebar width before I fully commit to it and get out the chop saw. Another reason why I'm terrified of this bike is the frame geometry. The Mojo Ti has what was standard in the 90s for geometry. It has a 71 head tube angle and a 73 seat tube angle. That geometry is vastly different than modern day geometry. My Mojo 3, for instance, has a 67 head tube angle with a 74 seat tube, and my Ritmo is way over with a 66 head tube and a 77 seat tube. Old school geometry of the Mojo Ti means there's a ton of weight on the front wheel. Combined with that long stem, it feels like anything's gonna throw you over the handlebars. These are called Cantilever Brakes, and they were never known for working super well. None of these mechanically actuated rim brakes have nearly the same kind of stopping power as the disc brakes our modern bikes have today. As far as cantilevers go, these Paul Components brakes have way more power and adjustability than any cantilevers did back in the 90s. That said, the lack of power coming from disc brakes, it's immediately noticeable. Speaking of brakes, another reason why this bike is terrifying, I have black painted rims on this thing. There aren't many tubeless compatible rim brake 26-inch diameter rims available today in 2018. After doing some Googling, I found out that Stan's ZTR 355 rims do work with rim brakes, and it turns out I had a pair of them in my shed. The drivetrain on this bike is very much a modern drivetrain. I'm running Shimano XT M8000 series. This XT Grupo is super modern in that it has a Shadow Plus clutch derailleur, it's an 11-speed, and it's a single front chainring. No one rode that in 1995. The cranks are 170 millimeters long. I love 170 cranks. The front chainring is a 34 tooth, and the rear cassette is an 1142 unit. The seat post is an original Synchros titanium post, and the saddle is a mid-90s WTB SST Ti saddle. This bike's turning into a bit of a neo-retro build. It has some really cool old stuff on it, but it also has some nice modern technology that's gonna allow me to ride this bike as fast as my guts will let me go. And I'm still pretty terrified of this thing. Come join me on my first ride on this sweet old bike. Let's do it. Let me know in the comments below, what was your dream bike in the 1990s? And if you want to see the rest of this bike build, click that subscribe button below.